Hello again, everybody. Today I'd like to walk you through something that I learned from Tim Pool's Media Room, a new website. It's called AllSidescom. Before we jump into that, though, I thought we could have a little fun playing with Google's predictive text in their search engine. Let's do that for a while, and then I'm going to talk about this new website that I think might interest you. So here in Google Chrome, I have a blank page open, and we're going to have some fun typing in things to test this new predictive text shit out, the supposedly fairness-loaded bias that Google search has. Let's see how this goes. Let's start with some easy ones, like women. Women are from Venus. Women are beautiful. Women aren't nags. Women are funny. Get over it. Okay, it's probably a little biased. Let's try men are. Men are from Mars. Women are from Venus. Men are like waffles. Men are like Bluetooth. Men are visual. Well, that doesn't seem very loaded or feministy, does it? Men are like waffles. I might have to look into that later. I love waffles. Let's try Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton. Net worth, college, book, biography. Hillary Clinton is... Hillary Clinton can... is... Maybe they've already done something about this. Maybe they've taken that down. Let's try Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Twitter, news, age, net worth, wife. Doesn't seem very biased to me. Is the president. Is what number president. Is real Twitter. Is Republican. Again, doesn't seem very biased. And I'm in Chrome using Google search. So, let's try something else. Let's try feminism. Feminism. Symbol, meaning, today, history. Let's try is. For everybody. Feminism is the radical notion. I'm not familiar with that phrasing. Feminism is for everybody. Summary. Feminism is for everybody might be some kind of, I don't know, popular book or website or movie. So maybe that's not a good one. Let's try communism. Communism, symbol versus capitalism versus socialism, flag, is like rain, is an economic system in which is just a red herring is for figs. Can't get away from the crowder. Is not love. Okay, that doesn't seem to have much of a lefty bias to me. It seems to be working as intended, search engine. Let's try another loaded term. Let's try far right. Far right group's definition, Europe news. Politics, group's definition, Europe. Is Israel party, anarchy, rising, is growing. Those bottom two here, that's kind of loaded, but that's not necessarily Google's fault, and I don't think that this is about fairness, because so much of garbage media does talk about the far right rising and stuff. So, again, doesn't seem particularly swayed by that machine learning fairness stuff we heard about. Maybe they've already turned this off. Maybe they shut it off because of the bad press they were getting. So, let's try something fun now. Let's try Antifa. Antifa is... Oh, okay. Antifa are... Okay. Antifa with nothing is Antifa attacks Jewish man. Antifada podcast. Okay. Definitely seems like the predictive thing is sort of burying Antifa. Let's try Antifa attacks Jewish man. Antifa in just Portland. Antifa in B, C, D, Deutschland, Dallas, okay, E, F. Okay, Antifa's not bringing up much. Gets the old noggin jogging, doesn't it? Let's try something else. Let's try Democrat. Democrat debate. Democrat Party, okay. Let's try Democrats. Democrats running for president. Debates, running for president. Democrats are. Democrats are blue, are scared, are running for president, are left or right, are conservatives. Let's try Republicans are. What color winning? Okay, doesn't seem to be much different. So, at least using my internet and this Chrome and the Yizz the Eunuch Gmail with a standard Google search, I don't see a lot of the fairness machine predictive text stuff that we saw on in the last few days of the Project Veritas stuff. So maybe they've shut that off. Maybe something I have running defeats that. In this Chrome, I am only running a basic ad blocker. I'm not running any script blockers. I'm not running a VPN. I'm not running any of my other stuff right now. This is just Chrome on a basic internet with only ad block. That's it. So let's move away from this and talk about the website that I wanted to share today. This website is called AllSidescom. I learned about it through Tim Pool's media group. What it seeks to do is to present a central, a left-leaning, and a right-leaning viewpoint on any topic that is in the news. Anything from, abortion to border control or current events, that kind of thing. And I've only been using it for about a day and a half, and it looks pretty good so far. So I wanted to just take a quick look at it. Here's the main page. You get to log in. You can create an account. Yizz the Eunuch, obviously for me. You can get a little avatar picture there, and you can do a lot of other things in the settings if you want. I couldn't find a way to make it dark, so we'll have to suffer with the white background for now. So as you see, here's the main page. This is just allsides.com. Unbiased balanced news is what it says up here in the URL. This is the main page. It says here right on top, don't be fooled by media bias and fake news. Unbiased news does not exist. We provide balanced news and civil discourse. So far from what I've seen, that is correct, and I'm enjoying this site. Basically, what you can do is just, every hour or two, you come on here, and you can see what the top trending stories are. News from the left, news from central sources, and news from right sources, and you can see what's popping in each of the clusters, in sort of the central cluster, the left cluster, and the right cluster. When you mouse over something, you can rate the bias yourself. So if you agree or disagree with their ranking system, you get to provide feedback for it. And so far, it seems to be pretty spot on, because I've only used it, like I said, for about a day and a half, maybe 2 hours of use so far, not much. But it does seem to be pretty spot on with labeling things the way I would. Let's look at how exactly they do the media bias, okay? All sides media bias ratings help you identify different perspectives so you can know more, understand others, and think for yourself. They've rated nearly 600 outlets and writers. And the thing I like a lot about All Sides, they don't just rank the website or the media source. They actually rank the authors and the pundits individually by personality. So I think that's pretty cool. So like if you, let's say you open up something that's from CNN, if there has been feedback and aggregate data on that particular contributor, you can hover over their name and it will show you what the aggregate left to right scaling of that particular content provider or author has too. I think that's really cool. I like that. Maybe you like it too. So let's read through some of this together here. By making the political leanings of hundreds of media sources transparent, All Sides frees people from filter bubbles so we can better understand the world and each other. Our media bias ratings represent the average judgment of Americans. They are biased on blind surveys of people across the political spectrum, multi-partisan analysis, and other in-depth analyses, as well as tens of thousands of user ratings. Our scientifically generated ratings are fluid and subject to change over time as new information is gathered and biases change. So, sounds pretty good so far. Now you can learn about the chart itself here, so let's go ahead and click on that. The All Sides Media Bias Chart offers an easy way to identify political bias in the news so you can be better equipped to navigate our polarized media landscape. The All Sides Media Bias Chart is based on our full and growing list of nearly 600 media bias ratings. Our chart helps to free you from filter bubbles so you can consider multiple perspectives and see the full picture. So let's make this a little bigger. I don't want it to clip through my picture. Let's check OBS here. Okay, that's about as big as I can make it. Quick to point out, the extremes of their rating system do not intimate far left and far right, okay? It just means established or firmly, such as if you look at individual creators, Tim Pool pointed out on his channel about All Sides that you'll see the hard right on this scale. Ben Shapiro would be there. That doesn't mean that Ben Shapiro is a far right individual. It just means he is staunchly on the right and is a constant conservative source of ideas and information. So that's what the bold L and the bold R mean here. It doesn't necessarily mean far left like commie or far right like, you know, blood and soil type stuff. It just means how established and how staunch you are in a left or a right bias. That's all that this means. So let me know what you think in the comments below as we look through this, if there are any ones in here that stand out as wrong to you, or if you just like what this website has to share. I really like it. So as we see here straight down the middle, BBC, Bloomberg, NPR News, Reuters, or Reuters, I don't know how to say it because people say it different, The Hill, USA Today, The Wall Street Journal, online news only. Moving to the left, you have The Atlantic, ABC, BuzzFeed, CBS, CNN, The Economist, Guardian, NBC, New York Times, online news only, NPR Opinions, Politico, Time, and The Washington Post. Moving to far left, Alternate, CNN Opinion, Democracy Now!, Daily Beast, Huffington Post, Intercept, Jacobin, which I don't even know what that is, Mother Jones, MSNBC, The New Yorker, New York Times Opinions, The Nation, Slate, and Vox. Now, we'll get to the right here in a moment. On the left here, I'd like to point out that you'll see New York Times Opinion, and then on the firmly left, and then a central left is New York Times online news only. I really like how this aggregator, the All Sides aggregator, it splits up the general overall opinion and editorial with the news they present. I like that because, like I've said for a long time, that's how Fox News is, and you can see over on the right that's how they market too. You've got Fox Opinion and then Fox News, and that's what I've always said about Fox, is they present the facts in a rather unbiased but right-leaning way, even though a lot of their pundits and speakers are a little out there when it comes to the right stuff, or are at least firmly right-wing on all of their opinions and punditry. So I like this. I agree with how they have these laid out for the most part. And on the right, they have Reason, Fox News, online news, the Wall Street Journal Opinion, Examiner, Washington Examiner, and Washington Times. Then on firmly right, American Spectator, Breitbart, The Blaze, CBN, I don't know what CBN is, the Daily Caller, Daily Mail, Daily Wire, Fox News Opinions, The Federalist, National Review, New York Post, and Newsmax. I don't know what Newsmax is either. Could be British. I don't know. The only thing on here that I have knowledge of to firmly disagree with is the Associated Press and the BBC. I would put the Associated Press and BBC in the center-left category because I've been looking at AP shares and BBC shares for almost 2 years now, and even their unbiased opinion news is still written and phrased with obvious left-leaning language and sometimes full-blown leftist language when it's presented as unbiased news. So I have marked these accordingly with my vote, so maybe you could do the same if you agree with me. NPR I would also put over here in center-left by default, not just their opinions, but that's just me, and I don't have a lot of experience with NPR news, so maybe I'm wrong about that, and that's just my bias. But I have consumed a lot of BBC and Associated Press, and I believe they firmly belong here, if not the BBC belonging over here. But the BBC, they do have some right-wing pundits and some more centrist right-wing ideas on the channel, so maybe just here is fine. But when it comes to just the straight-up news that they share, the framing and the language they choose alone definitely would put them at least in center-left, and not the center. Excuse me. And see, they do have The Guardian appropriately marked over here, and to me, that's the exact place that the BBC belongs to. But then again, I'm not British, I don't live in the UK, maybe I'm wrong. Moving from the media bias chart back to the page that we were on, you can learn how they rate media bias. Now, this is what I find most interesting. I recommend you watch this short video that they have about how they determine their ratings. For the most part, it's pretty easy to understand. Bias is normal, they say. If you've got a pulse, you've got a bias. I personally completely agree with that. We all have biases. But hidden bias misleads and divides us. Again, Yizz totally agrees. That's why we created the All Sides Media Bias Rating. Remember, there is no such thing as unbiased news. The best that we can do is create balance and get multiple perspectives. I wholeheartedly agree, and that's why I recommend all my viewers to look at different news sources and follow a plethora of YouTube or other online pundits and commentators. If you like Sargon, that's great. Make sure to follow a leftist. Make sure to follow a rightist. That's why I recommend everything from Black Pigeon Speaks all the way over to Kyle Kalinske and David Pacman. I say Pacman because of Tim Pool. Media bias ratings are a powerful tool. They most certainly are. They allow us to easily look at a news story or issue from different perspectives. This helps us to better evaluate, understand, and contextualize the information that we consume. Again, wholeheartedly agree. So let's move forward a little bit here. What do the media bias ratings mean? These are subjective judgments made by people across the country. Here is our rough approximation for what the media bias ratings mean. Note that center does not always mean unbiased, neutral, or reasonable, just as far left and far right do not mean extreme or unreasonable, like I mentioned earlier. So I'm not going to read all this for you. It basically just goes into detail about the things I said earlier. Next, I'd like to just go over briefly about AllSidescom. All Sides strengthens our democracy with balanced news, diverse perspectives, and real conversation. I wholeheartedly agree with what little experience I have with it so far. They say, boop, we expose people to information and ideas from all sides of the political spectrum so they can better understand the world and each other. I believe I've already read this, so let's not just rehash. Okay, let's shrink this a little as to not hide it with my picture in the bottom. Okay, how we do it. Okay, this is just stuff again. It seems like this site does repeat itself when you go to the different sources, or when you go to the different elements of it, so I'm not going to reread all of this to not waste your time, but as you see, it's a very well fleshed out site. It says a lot about itself. You can read they have a good fact that I flipped through. I haven't looked through the other things here yet, but they do have a balanced search if you just want to search for things within their own site. So that basically does it, but I would like to show you the top stories at the time of making this video. The top two stories on All Sides are YouTube removes Project Veritas video on Google bias, and that makes me happy with this website because, for the most part, mainstream media is not talking about this Project Veritas expose of Google. And I like that. That means All Sides cares about what a lot of online viewers want to hear about. So that's nice. And as you can see, they have a center, a right, and a left coverage of this news. You've got Project Veritas story on Google bias reveals left-right divide. That's the central one. Google fascists from the right, of course. And then from the left, Googler caught in James O'Keefe's sting. Project Veritas selectively edited my words, clearly with a left bias to, of course, try to make Jen look as best as possible. You can click to read the full story. It shows you the bias here, right, left, staunchly right accordingly, and it will say what the source is: Daily Beast, American Spectator, and All Sides. You'll see that with All Sides, they have all three of the main colors lit up there. Moving over to the other main story today, Illinois becomes 11th state to legalize recreational marijuana. Well, that's another thing that I would believe most people that get their news from the internet are interested in. I know I certainly am. And again, here you can see Chicago Tribune is a centrist source, they believe. And then leaning left, but not staunchly left, the Chicago Sun-Times, and leaning right, but not staunchly right, Fox News, not Fox opinion pieces, which remember they mark as staunchly right. From the center, you've got legal marijuana is coming to Illinois. You've got high sign for legal pot. And then from the right, Illinois becomes 11th state to use recreational marijuana. Doesn't seem very biased, doesn't seem very biased, and doesn't seem very biased. So these look like probably fairly spot-on news articles. Haven't read through them yet. But that's how this website works. And that brings us to the end of my coverage today. I hope you've enjoyed exploring All Sides with me and having a little bit of Google fun at the beginning. And if you like live videos like this one, please let me know in the future and I might do more coverage like this. Do some Tim Pool V-Daily News style videos for everyone. Well, until next time, please remember, leave a comment below. Like if you like it, dislike if you don't. And above all else, please share. If you think I'm awful or terrible and people need to hate on me, please share my video. And likewise, if you think people would enjoy my content, please share it likewise so they can enjoy it too. You'll find all the links, especially to my BitChute, down below. And as always, take care and God bless.